8:30 a.m. We're now going to commence the Neighborhoods, Community Services, Public Health and Safety Committee meeting with introductions to my left.
Good morning, Bill Delaney, Mayor Douglas.
Brandon Russell, Council Research.
Mayor's Office of General Counsel.
Bill Peterson, Councilor's Office.
Good morning, Chief Lucio, City Council District 7.
Good morning, Ken Amaro, City Council District 1.
Good morning, everyone. Chris Miller, at-large Group 5.
Joe Carlucci, District 5.
Brock Settle, Group 2 at large.
Good morning, Michael Quinlan, District 6.
Good morning, Carolyn Rory, District 9, and there are 20 days left in public school.
No one's counting, but that's exciting. Yeah, the teachers, well, they deserve a well-earned summer break. Okay, so thank you for all the introductions. We're going to go ahead into the public comment cards, and then we'll go through the agenda just to get everyone kind of oriented where we're at, and then we'll actually go into the agenda. So with that being said, let's go to Ms. Lynn Drysdale.
Honorable Council people, Lynn Drysdale, and from Jacksonville Area Legal Aid. I'm here to speak about Agenda Item 21, so I can hold my comments to then, or I can state them briefly now.
Go ahead and do it now, because I think we need to, I don't know if there's a public hearing on it or anything, so go ahead.
Yes, sir, thank you. I just wanted to speak very briefly about the Agenda Item 21. This is the Property Assessed Clean Energy Program. It's a loan program that has been introduced. We've had it in Duval County for a little while in commercial loans, but we've been seeing a great increase in these types of loans over the past year or two. This is despite the fact that the Jacksonville City Council entered a resolution at the end of 2023 saying that these residential loans were dangerous and should not be provided in Duval County. So we're very interested in the legislative process. We're looking to see about the company who's going to be bringing the loans. Just why they're dangerous. They're super liens. They have lien status over mortgages. The interest rates are anywhere from 11 to 12%, and they're almost indecipherable. So before you vote on these loans, I hope everyone will take a look at them and make sure that you can understand what you are committing to the title to your home and potential loss of your home for these very expensive loans. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that will be also, that's the second reading item today, so just make sure you continue to come down and speak on that if you would like. All right, next we have Ms. Sharon Corbett-Waller.
Hi, good morning, Council. Thank you for having me today. I wanted to personally come out and introduce myself. I'm Sharon Corbett-Waller. I'm the new CEO of Jacksonville Housing Authority, and it's a pleasure to be here. I want to first start off by thanking our Board of Commissioners for their continued support in our mission and ensuring that each and every resident within Jacksonville has an opportunity at long-term affordable housing. Our mission for Jacksonville Housing Authority is deeply rooted in the understanding of providing and preserving affordable housing for all that are in need, from those in low to moderate income households. We have family self-sufficiency opportunities in which we provide to individuals, and we also aid those individuals to promote upward economic mobility long-term. I'm here today because I think it's very important as we create the future of Jacksonville Housing Authority to ensure that we're in partnership with each council representative.
Good.
Therefore, I will be reaching out to each council representative for a one-on-one meeting to basically forge the future of Jacksonville Housing Authority. And thank you today for having me here.
Thank you for being here. It's been a long waiting period for a new face over there, so we're excited to see you.
I'm excited. Thank you.
All right, next we have John Newton.
Hello, I am John Philip Rocket, Resiliency Unit, I'll be touching on agenda items 1, 5, 2056. That's WJCT, who's Jacksonville's conservative team. Agenda item 8, 2025-0257. Inspector Cousteau, this is Pink Panther legislation stuff. Agenda item 11, agenda item 12, 2025-0276. Okay, down to 25 seconds. This is the at-large John Daly Public Park Real Estate number 137-044-0000. It's the 19th hole on Pottsburg Creek. That is Jack's Ready. It's next to a Noah Ray FEMA house in District 4, CPAC 3, School Board District 3. Visit Jacksonville. It's all about tourism. So let's get ready to open up the world, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Judy. Right on time. Well done. So with that, we're going to go ahead and go through the agenda just to get everyone familiarized with what we're going to be going over today, and then we will go ahead and start the actual agenda. So item number 1, 2024-966 is deferred. Item number 2, 2025-138 is up for action. I see Councilmember Diamond, has a spot of the dice here. Has anyone spoken to him up here, whether he's here or not? All right, Councilmember Diamond, you are number 1 on the agenda. So, item number 3, 2025-189 is deferred. Item number 4, 2025-217 is up for action. Item number 5, 2025-253 is amended move. And, KHA is here. Number 6, 2025-254 is up for action. Number 7, 2025-256 is amended move. Number 8, 2025-257 is up for action. Auditor recommended amendment there. And then number 9, 2025-258 is amended move. And then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Those are all second readings. Number 25 is up for action on emergency. And then the rest are on second reading. So, with that, we will go ahead into the agenda if there's no questions. So, item number 1, 2024-966 is deferred. Item number 2, 2025-138, Councilmember Diamond's not here, so we're going to skip over that one. And if he wants to have the bill heard, he can certainly make his way down here. So we can just skip over that one for now. Okay, skip it over. Number 3, 2025-189 is deferred. Item number 4, 2025-217. We have a motion and a second on the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. We have one computer down over here. Should we do a hand vote, Jessica? We'll do his down.
Who's down? Who? Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, open the ballot before the vote. Yeah. Did you want to speak, Councilmember Elizabeth? Before?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Close the ballot.
Thank you, Chair.
Councilmember Pelosi recognized.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate it. No, I just want to ask the question. What I'm unfamiliar with this program. Can we kind of give a bit of an explanation about? Has it been in existence for several decades? Has it been around for a year? Like what is the main goal of this program? If anyone can answer that, that'd be helpful.
All right, we have some folks coming down from JSO, it looks like. State your name and address.
Good morning. My name is Randy Glossman. I'm the commander of the new Health and Wellness section of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. And the POWER program is the Peace Officer Wellness, Empathy, and Resilience program. It has been in existence since 2018. Small pandemic hit called COVID in 2020, and so we actually got off the ground in 2021. We have had 4 cohorts of about 25 employees that have been through it, and we are saving lives. So it is a health and resilience program. We put employees in a circle, we call it a huddle, and everything is confidential that they say, and they come out of there more resilient than ever. Things are said that they would never say to anybody else. So it is a safe space. It's a space that allows them to get things off their chest, because in the law enforcement, fire, EMT world, we see things that you can't unsee. So when I say we're saving lives, I can attest to, we have had employees say that this has saved my life.
Through the chair, so this is a mental health resource for all?
It is I don't want to call it mental health, it is a resiliency program, but yes,
Okay.
essentially yes.
Understood. All right, thank you. That's all. Appreciate it.
All right. We got no other speakers in the queue. The key is still down, so let's go ahead and open the ballot back up and close those.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you approved 2025-217. Moving on, item number 5, 2025-253. Motion. Okay, we have a motion to second on the amendment. Can someone please explain the amendment?
Through the chair of the committee, the amendment would increase the appropriation to include the in-kind match being provided by JSO of $462,000, which would take the total appropriation to $947,000. Reflect the current correct Schedule M references. This is the KHA budget document. There's various scrivener's that need to be corrected, and then also attaching a revised Exhibit 2 to correct the fifth revised Schedule M to include this additional appropriation of dollars.
All right, any questions on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The amendment carries. Okay, yep, motion is second on the bill as amended. We'll go to Councilmember Clark Murray and then Councilmember Sale.
Thank you, Chair. I thought someone here from KJ, come on up, Dr. Graff. Just a quick question. I mean, obviously, I read through the bill and about the match, about the appropriation, and how it's being used. One of the questions I had before I started reading was whether or not it was for adults or adolescents, but I see that this is targeting adolescents, which is great. It's truly needed. The one thing that I had a question about was in regards to those two positions. There's like a permanent and a temporary position that's listed in the BT. Can you expound a little bit on those particular positions, the permanent and the temporary, and why those positions are being funded through this? Thank you.
Sure. Good morning. Sarah Lynn Grass, KHA. Through the chair, yes. And this is a grant that we have been getting already for about 6 years, so it's just a renewal. These people already work at KHA, but their funding is covered through the grant. And so one of them is fully covered by the grant, and the other one is basically part of their salary is as well. So they just do the administration from the feds to the subcontractors to manage the grant, just like any other contract manager.
I'm satisfied with that explanation. Thank you, Chair.
All right, we have Councilmember Sale.
Thank you, Chair. Through the Chair, Dr. Grass. So you will budget next year in the 25-26 budget the $85,000 match, anticipating you get this grant again. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we don't need any additional dollars. It's money we had already budgeted.
I understand. Thank you.
Councilmember Miller, you're right. Question? Okay. All right, no further discussion. Let's go ahead and open the ballot for the vote.
Thank you so much.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you have approved 2025-253. Moving on to item number 6, 2025-254. We have a motion to second on the bill. Seeing no discussion, open the ballot for the votes.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you approved 2025-254. Item number 7, 2025-256. We have a motion to second on the amendment. Can someone please explain the amendment?
Through the chair of the committee, the amendment just it reflects that Public Works will be overseeing and administering the redevelopment agreement as it relates to the construction project that's ongoing for the new marine fire station, and there's various scripters that need to be corrected as well.
All right, any discussion on the amendment? Nope. All right, all in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, the amendment carries. Are there any floor amendments for this one?
Mr. Chair, I believe there is from Councilmember Boylan.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a minor amendment. Sonny, would you pass this out? I'm going to ask Ms. Hodges to come up here to help explain it, if you wouldn't mind, this evening. It's merely adding an additional sentence, in effect, to the lease agreement that incorporates the opportunity for WJCT to sublet the spaces, which they presently do in the building. So I'm going to offer that as a floor amendment. Ms. Hodges, is that, you're good? Okay. I'm a little bit of history of WJCT, so I'm intimately familiar with the leasing facilities. As a matter of fact, it's Gatorbowl is looking into WJCT as part of it. So that's the floor amendment. Any questions? It has been seconded, Mr. Chair, so your call.
Okay. I'm sorry, so we did get a motion and a second on the floor amendment? Okay. All right. Seeing no discussion on the Boylan floor amendment, so we will go ahead and vote on this. All in favor of the Boylan amendment, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I understand, Mr. Chair, if I'm in the case, Ms. Stavropoulos is concerned about the language itself. Did you need some further clarification?
Through the chair to Councilmember Boylan, no, I'll just make sure that the amendment's in the correct format when we file it.
I appreciate it very much.
Would you like?
Yep, go ahead and roll the up.
I'll stop. I'll shut up, I promise. Just want to be added as a co-sponsor.
Now, okay, cool, no worries. Okay. All right, so those two amendments will get rolled up into one, and now we need to take a motion on the bill as amended. Right? Oh, we have Councilmember Caluso, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to be added as a co-sponsor as well.
All right. All right, motion is second on the bill is amended. Open the ballot, record votes. Fire action years approved in 2025-256 as amended. Item number 8, 2025-257. We have a motion and second on the bill. Councilmember Miller, do you want to speak on this, or the auditors want to speak on the recommended amendment first? Or... Go ahead, Councilmember Miller, you're recognized.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. This, I think, as I've brought before, is just the opportunity for further encouragement of city employees to report the matters that are listed to the Inspector General for their focus and attention. And I know we have there's one exception listed on here, and that was brought up. I want to highlight that, and that is for JSO, because they have internal affairs who already look into these matters, and they're required to report such matters to internal affairs through JSO. And the Inspector General has met with JSO to confirm that's an acceptable way of addressing these matters, and so that was the one exception that was listed in this legislation. And I know, as you said, the auditors have a recommended amendment about during the auditing process and waiting until after the audit is performed for the auditors to report such matters.
All right, thank you. We'll go ahead and go to discussion. Councilmember Clark, Murray, recognized.
Thank you, Chair, but my question is not about the auditor's recommended amendments.
We're not on that. Yeah, we're not on the recommended amendment yet. He was just explaining kind of the bill, and then we'll hear from the auditors.
So I'll wait.
You'll wait for the auditors?
After, yes.
Okay, all right. Did you have a question on the bill? Okay, go ahead, and then we'll hear from the auditors.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I spoke with the IG's office maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago that kind of brought out this bill. So thank you, Councilmember Miller, for offering it to the administration, to the chair of the administration. Do you guys have a position on this bill right now? Seeing a head shake. And a no. Okay, understood.
He should get on the record. Okay?
All right, we'll keep it down over here.
We don't have a position on this, for the record.
All right.
Didn't mean to make things controversial on this one. Thank you, Chair.
All right. And Councilmember Boylan, did you have a, all right, we'll go to Councilmember Boylan, and then let's hear the auditor's recommended amendment. Thank you. And this question to the chair is to Councilmember Miller, and I do appreciate Mr. Calusso's comment. Even in your words, you said this is to reinforce. So is this redundant? I mean, wouldn't it automatically expect that all these folks, various agencies, the office, departments, would do all the things here? This is akin to the amendment we added to the anti-immigration bill that basically says we don't trust you, and all the agencies and authorities out there, and that we have to reaffirm the need for you to be good stewards. So help me understand why the rationale for this bill was already in place.
Councilmember, through the chair, through Councilman Boylan, no, it's not the same. It's very different because right now, in writing, the only requirement is for elected officials to report such matters. So the mayor and us. It does not require the rest of those associated with city employment to report these matters. So this is a big change. But what I'm saying is, it is required, the way it's written, but my perspective is, this is the way you encourage people to report such things. Obviously, you can't guarantee everything will be reported, but right now, the way it's currently written, like I said, only the elected officials are required to report such matters. So as Councilman Calusso mentioned, the Inspector General came to me, actually offered up this legislation and asked if I would sponsor it, and so seeing that current disparity and ensuring that we are able to get more oversight, accountability, this is a way to do that. And I'll add, I didn't say this before, but the whistleblower protection is already in place. So any city employee who reports has that protection as well. And this change makes it required for all city employees to report the matters that are listed in the legislation. So very different from what you mentioned. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may continue, you have the floor, Councilmember. Thank you. I guess it's a little frustrating from my perspective to say we don't trust you and that we're going to require you to. I think there's an expectation, and perhaps the Inspector General here can speak to that, as to why they felt this is necessary. Are there people hiding things from us that we don't know about? I guess I'm just a little frustrated by the fact that we are telling our colleagues, fellow public servants, that we're going to make sure you do this, as opposed to expect that you would do it automatically. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Brandon Keenan, with investigator with the Office of Inspector General. I'm here today on behalf of the Inspector General now itself. Councilmember Bowman, you asked it's a very good question. It's a good point. The reason I can tell you, I've been with the office for 9 years. I'm the longest standing employee of this office. This is a pretty standard, I come from the state IG world, this is a pretty standard procedure for everyone. This is not, the point of it isn't to be more sort of a punish it, but sometimes it is an acknowledgement. We have a huge city. We have, our office is really probably pretty small for the size of the breadth of what we cover. This is to let everyone know, hey, these are the things you are required. To Councilmember Miller's point, there was a very small population that was covered by the previous amendment. It wasn't just elected officials, it has a couple other caveats. But the vast majority of the people that would see the fraud and waste and abuse, your people that are working on the back of trucks, they were not covered. This is and not only is this is where we purchase this there is a sticker purchase, but we want to view this more of a carrot because there's going to be a significant learning and educational aspect of this because we're not going to hold people's feet to the fire, so to speak, until we can get a chance to tell them, hey, this is what fraud is, this is what this is how you need to do this. And these are the methods you can report to us. As Councilmember Miller said, we can educate them to the point about the whistleblower process. This is an easy, I hate to say this is probably the broadest way and broadest tool we can get to get that message out. We view this as an opportunity. This isn't about distrusting people. This is about making sure we cast the widest net. Because this is not only, we don't view this as just we have this one thing going on here or another. This is also an opportunity for us to do trend analysis, to try to be much more proactive, because I know that's one of the big things that everyone is looking for, to try to see what's the problem going to be before we know what happens. And that's what we're hoping we view this as an opportunity. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that very much. I think it was important for us to have that conversation, however.
Yes, sir.
And to share the rationale for this bill. And thank you, Councilmember Miller, for bringing it forward. Just at face value, it doesn't play well. So your explanation helps me understand the rationale for it and in some respects the need for it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chair.
All right, Councilor Clark, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for clarifying. I appreciate that, especially you talking about that there's going to be an educational piece along with this, because if we just have, as my colleague mentioned, if we just have employees and officials and those in authority just reporting what they perceive to be fraud, waste, or abuse, then that could just become a huge problem. So thank you for discussing the fact that there will be an education piece to that. As of now, I know you mentioned data, so do you know any numbers? What's your data thus far in regards to what's being reported now and what you think you can anticipate being reported in terms of fraud, waste, and abuse?
Well, unfortunately, that's kind of one of those unknown unknowns because we don't know what isn't reported to us. The aspect, I think, again, I always like to go back to the educational aspect because this will, I think, spur us and the other agencies to get together, and that's what we think. Not almost guaranteed this will be a likelihood of increasing the reportable information to us. I know just through some of our investigations we've discovered things where they have not been reported to us, and the other agencies. Some of these things are in the aspect where I can't discuss them on a public setting. However, we know it is an issue that's going on. Some of them have been significant issues. Some of them have been into the criminal realm. So this is, so it's not always per se just a numbers. It also is it's not just quantitative, qualitative as well, I guess, would be the way to say it.
I do understand that. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. And to the chair, to my colleague, Councilmember Miller, I too was initially concerned about the intent on the previous council before this one. We had lots of lawyers, so intent was always one of those words that often came up in our discussion. So I wanted to know what was the intent of this bill, and thanks to the representative here from the IG office, I do have a better understanding of the intent, and I will be supporting this bill today. Previously, I was not going to support it because, once again, the idea behind it, what is the intent? So thank you, Chair.
All right, and also just want to welcome Council President White for joining us down here. And with that, we will go to Councilmember Palouse, recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Through the Chair, thank you for coming down to speak. I actually have a question possibly about process. So we created this position under a ballot initiative, isn't that correct? Ms. Pavlos?
Through the chair, Councilmember Palouse, I apologize. So I believe the Inspector General's office was created through a ballot initiative.
My question is, if we're going to expand upon the duties and responsibilities of that role, do we have to go through a ballot at all, or we can do that on our own?
Yes, through the chair to Councilmember Blue, so what you're addressing is things that are codified, so yes, you can amend those within the code. I don't think it changes the overarching function of the office, which is what was created and placed within the charter. So I think you are within your rights to make this amendment with respect to reporting to that office.
Understood. Just wanted to kind of make sure I understand that. Then one more question real quick. So what if somebody under this requirement doesn't provide information to the IG's office? Is there any sort of punishment, or is there now criminal code or criminal intent that's now kind of set off?
Yeah, that's a great question that you asked there, Councilmember Pluso. The aspect of this is we view it if someone fails to report. That to us is more of an is administrative aspect. That was something we would say, yeah, we would also, if this is someone that would have had knowledge, say that they went through a training, we knew that they were aware of it. That was something we would report to the deputy or the head of whatever agency it is and let them take whatever recommend corrective action they'd want to. In the aspect of there was nothing else other to it, unless, hey, if there is a criminal aspect and they also try to take criminal actions, which then we refer to the state attorney's office.
Understood. Is there any appetite, whether it be from the OIG's office or anyone else, to make it not so much a requirement but an availability for staff to be able to kind of come to the OIG's office, or is that kind of what's happening already?
That's already what's in effect, sir. This is by putting this out and codifying it, it does make it a requirement, but it's the same thing, if I recall correctly, you're a service member, and I thank you for your service. But it's the see something, say something. And so it is kind of that same aspect of it's an expectation. Yes, it is an expectation with teeth, but it is an expectation that is right now only on a small number of people. I think it's fair to put that expectation to everyone, because everyone, we are all part of the city, and a lot of the people that would see a lot of the issues were not currently included in the current ordinance code. So this really is just trying to make it really kind of more equitable, I guess.
Understood. All right. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of quick questions through the chair to Mr. King. You said that this existed in the state environment where you served at some point.
Yeah.
Was there an increase in reporting because of the requirement at the state level?
Yeah, through the chair, so when I came on to it was with the Florida Department of Children and Families Office Inspector General. That was actually an administrative policy. That policy was in effect before I came on board. So I can't give you a qualitative, or I can't give you a specific number, but I can tell you that it is an effective usage not only for the agency, for our office, but also for the reporting agency, because it shows that you're being transparent, and that if somebody else wants to look at this, they can. So I unfortunately don't have a specific number for you, because as I said, that predated my employment there.
Through the chair to Mr. King, legislating personal accountability and someone's moral obligation has never been successful, in my eyes at least. So how do you reinforce this requirement to have other city employees report things that are bad, that they may have witnessed, in an environment where snitches get stitches?
Well, that's definitely a phrase that I gotta say I was not expecting to hear today. So I think to Councilmember Miller's point, as I explained earlier, is we do have processes in terms of someone who is a whistleblower. We can assess them if we determine that they meet those criteria. We could then protect. We would be legally required to protect the confidentiality. We cannot even disclose it to the state attorney's office without a waiver, a signed affidavit waiver from them. So I understand the concern about the requirement of legislating morality, but I think if we look throughout the entire ordinance code, those requirements are already there. All we're asking you is, hey, if you see these things, you need to let us know. That's all it is. It does not mean you need to be a junkie citizen. It doesn't mean you need to solve it. it is letting somebody know, just like if one of your constituents, they had an issue, you need them to come to you because you want to help to be there to help them solve that. This is that same thing, is so that we can make sure that the city that we are good stewards of that, of those funds and those resources.
All right. We're good. All right. Thank you, Mr. King. Appreciate it. Looks like we have no other speakers in the queue. I just wanted to add my 2 cents, and I'll be brief. I think this gives our employees protection, if anything, because, right now they're not required to report it. So if they do report it, there's kind of retribution for that in the workplace or not in the workplace, to be perfectly honest. So I think it gives them a little bit of cover. It gives them a little bit of, hey, I'm required to report this. And then, are we doing training? Sorry, Mr. King, or whoever can answer this. And this might have already been said, but there's been a lot of kind of going back and forth. Is there training for staff and everyone to spot, all these types of categories that is listed in the bill?
Back to the chair. So currently we're doing new employee rotation training. That's a 15-minute segment where all employees are coming in, deer in the headlights, to the city. So we're working some aspects, but the idea that we have and the plan that our office has is to maybe make some either online, ideally it would be online to hit the largest capacity, but the aspect would be explain specifically what the things are to say this is what fraud is. The fraud would be someone falsifying their overtime.
Well, yeah, right. We don't need to change.
That's what
but there's going to be some proactive.
Yes, sir.
Work in that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's to me. To kind of some of the concerns other people have. I think it's very hard until we really get that done to really truly hold people. I would say truly accountable because again, not everyone. We have a lot of legacy employees who aren't even familiar with us. I can tell you that in my own decade serving with the IG's office, I ran into people who had no clue what we did, and they're sincere.
Yeah. No, well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And again, I think sometimes these things, fraud, waste, and abuse, and theft, and all these whatever, can almost sometimes not look as it's that. So I do think it is important. I've seen this type of stuff before, just with insurance policies, whatever. But anyways, that's good to hear that you guys are thinking about that. So we're going back to Councilmember Amaro. You're recognized, sir.
Mr. Chair, just very quickly, and I want to punctuate the fact that education is an important piece here, because as you're pointing out that what you may think is nebulous or could be something that's really bad, but until you've been educated as to what's what, my only concern was how do you reinforce this thing, and perhaps the education piece, because the reality is that we're a culture where personal accountability just doesn't seem to exist. So.
Right. All right. So with that, there's no other speakers in the queue. Let's go ahead and. Did you want to? Oh, the council auditor's recommended amendment. Right. Woo! We got so far down the road. Almost forgot about you there, sir. This is a self-serving amendment, but I'm just kidding. All right, go ahead. So.
Through the chair of the committee, and Councilmember Miller hit on this earlier, but there are certain statutes that require, while we are in the course of an audit, to remain confidential. We're not allowed to speak to anybody other than the auditee about the work that's going on, and so we request that there be an exemption for our office during the course of an audit, that we are not required to report on these things, but after the audit is complete and a report is issued, we would absolutely turn that over to the IG's office. If not during the course of the audit, we're not asking for any additional treatment as it relates to that.
All right. Does someone want to make that? Do we need to make a motion on that amendment? So.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second on the auditor's amendment. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The amendment carries. Motion on the bill as amended. Somebody?
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Open the ballot. Where'd you go? By your action, you've approved 2025-257 as amended. Item number 9, 2025-258. A motion and second on the amendment. Can someone please explain the amendment?
Through the chair of the committee, the amendment just reflects the total number of affected properties, which is 81, and the number of non-responses, which were 59. Attaches a revised exhibit to remove the duplicate listing of a property owner, and then also correct various numbers.
All right, all in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The amendment carries. Motion and second on the bill as amended. We'll go to Councilmember Miller, and then we have Councilmember Salem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the chair, I just had a couple questions for whoever may be able to answer this. Are there other costs associated with roadway markers, other types of things to make the designation, and if so, what are those? And then the second is, it seems like an awfully low number of responses from those affected. Are we confident that out of 81 and having, doing the math, 22 responses, that we got the word out and those who are affected are okay with this change?
Good morning, Charity Pollock, Office of General Counsel. Through the chair to Councilmember Miller, the actual addressing section sent out a number of letters. Those letters went out twice because people did not respond. The first notification was in January, and the next notification was in February, and we did not get the number of responses. I think around, we got 10 people who responded and consented, 6 people objected, 1 returned, and actually there were 5 that were returned to sender, and those do not get counted. And you are correct, there were 59 who did not respond. The ordinance code provides that if these people do not respond, they are considered to have consented. But again, the addressing division did send out a set of 2 sets of notifications. So, and that is all that's required in the ordinance code. So if there's additional signs are also posted. The addressing section does go out and place signs on the road that's being designated, and the signs are required to be installed at least 10 days prior to the hearing. So that's pretty much all of the notification has been complied with, but it is a significant number. So
thank you very much. Through the chair, even with those numbers, and then, like I said, small numbers, 10 said yes, 6 said no. Still a small amount. Now, I'm not against this. Given he was a Pittsburgh Steeler, and I'm a Steelers fan, and Bell's a Jags fan.
yes.
So I'm not against this, but I just want to make sure the people affected by it are for it. And I don't think 10 to 6 gives us that indication with 81 affected. So, yeah, I'm just not so sure on this one right now. Wait to hear others' thoughts. Thank you very much.
Sure.
All right, Mr. Peterson, I know you can't get in the queue, but did you want to go ahead and?
Just to add one additional thing on top of what Ms. Pollock said, the notices that go out have that statement that a lack of returning is a sense of approval. So we don't truly know if someone was in favor of it. They just chose not to send it back, because by not sending it back, you are a yes vote. So I understand where Councilmember Miller is coming from, and have had those same thoughts myself. But as an individual who leads a busy life, I may not send it back, because if I'm in favor, that's also a yes.
All right, Councilmember Salem, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. This is honorary, correct? And I think this simply is one of those green signs we see, the honorary. I see one for Jim Tullis, but it doesn't change the name of the road, doesn't change anything. So to answer Councilmember Miller's concern, it's just honorary out there. Now, you don't want to put it up unless you census, but doesn't change what police do, what fire does, or any of those things. So, I'm pretty comfortable wherever we put these things up, frankly, as long as there's not a serious objection from the neighborhood. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Clark, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Through the Chair to the committee, specifically to Councilmember Miller. So where this sign is going up is in front of Northwestern, it used to be a middle school. It's currently something else now. But it was also a high school some decades back. So this sign is going to go and it's going to designate the road that goes in front of previously Northwestern, where Sam Rock attended. And as Councilmember Salem mentioned, it doesn't change the road's name, it doesn't change anyone's address, it doesn't interfere or inconvenience anyone in those particular aspects, but it designates the work and the career, the athletic career of Sam Rock. And you don't know about Northwestern, but I taught there like in the early 90s, and football is big. And if you made it to the NFL, so proud, because so many people don't. And so it will be not just a sign that's there, but I guarantee you those who live there will point to and say, I remember when and I talked to him, and we used to live next door to me. So that's what the sign represents for this community. Thank you, Chair.
All right, I say we end on that note, but go to Councilmember Paluso.
Thank you, Chair. No, actually, I want to echo the sentiments of Councilmember Salem. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's just honorary. At the end of the day, though, even I will kind of jump on what Councilmember Miller was saying. There's a possibility that a lot of these homes, like maybe we as a body, or maybe through the next set of processes, if homes are not homesteaded, that would assume to me that they are rental properties. Maybe that's why you didn't see a lot of people checking the box saying yes or no. And I don't know what this neighborhood looks like. It'd be good to kind of know that maybe moving forward. So like if an LLC out of Vegas or LA owns the other, most of these homes or something, that might be a reason why we're not seeing so much engagement. So that'd be kind of helpful to know kind of moving forward. But yeah, it's an honorary. I think it's perfectly fine. Maybe really not. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Martin, recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a quick comment from the dialogue that's taking place, and this is a reminder that silence is complicit. And as pointed out, that 60 remaining non-respondents, according to code, deems that they consented to it. So if you don't speak up, you just have to accept what you get. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Baldwin, you recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to get on, although I was and still a lifelong Cleveland Browns fan, and watching the Steelers roll on us for so many years, I want to be above the grade on this subject and ask to be added to the sponsor. And I do appreciate the good work being done.
All right, Mr. Poplis, or Mr. Peterson.
Through the Chair of the Committee, to answer one of Councilmember Miller's questions about cost. The applicant pays a $761 fee when they submit for the application for renaming, which goes to pay for the cost of the signs and installation.
All right. We have no other speakers in the queue. I'll just take a step back from the football accomplishments. And where did he go to school? Where else did he go to school?
He went to Allen.
James Bolton Johnson. Okay, anyways, that's just my alma mater. But I think it was a little different. Things changed over a little bit in the course of years. But when I heard that, it made me smile. So anyways, I think we have, we've already moved the amendment. We got all that. So let's go ahead and open the ballot for the vote. All right, by your action, you have approved 125-258. All right, we have one more bill of emergency. Let's just read the second readings, though. 225-266, 275, 276, 277, 278, 279, 281, 282, 283, 284, 285, 286, 287, 288, 289, second reading, and then we have an emergency on number 25, 2025. 2025-291. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second on the emergency? Yeah. Okay. Well, I did want to ask, Mr. Russell, did you have the detailed summary of the emergency? I didn't see that in the handouts.
What,
The
sorry?
printout, did you have the printout of the detailed summary of why it's an emergency?
I don't have it with me currently, no.
You don't have it?
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well then, I guess are we gonna? We're just messing with you, man. It's just the first day here. It's just everyone's all like, "What's he doing? What's he doing?" Well, welcome to the dais. This is our newest member of the research department, Mr. Brandon Russell. So, yeah, come on. That's how we do it. That's how we do it at LUC. So, we got to keep you on your toes over there.
He's been sufficiently hazed.
Okay, he's been sufficiently welcome to the neighborhoods community. Good. Okay. Yeah, Councilmember Sam, go ahead. You're recognized.
Thank you. I was concerned my request for a deferral got lost in the shuffle, but I can understand what happened. And I'm asking for this to be deferred. What I have, I've worked with President White. I have an ordinance that will be introduced tomorrow that, I'm sorry, Wednesday. Excuse me.
Next is Tuesday.
I'm sorry, a week from Wednesday, which will be for an acquisition of the Interline property. President White has agreed to put that bill into the committee of the whole with the existing development agreement and everything. So we will have a chance to debate an acquisition versus a land swap, which is all I've ever wanted in that setting, and the 19 members of the city council could decide what they want to do. I've been advised that's the cleanest, easiest way to do it, so that's what I've worked with Mary to get that legislation put together, and so I will be deferring this today and finance tomorrow, understanding what my plan is. Thank you.
All right, we will make sure it's deferred because Mr. Brandon Russell did not bring the detailed summary of the emergency. All right. Hey, it's an early dismissal today, so we're having fun. Second reading, 2025-293, 303, 304. Any announcements or questions? Seeing none, Ms. Beasley. Oh! The table. Let's go back to what we laid on the table. Item number 20. Wait, no. All right, item number 2025-138 is being deferred. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Beasley. Yeah.